I had a man message me, a man emailed me saying that he was going to kill himself. I get about 10,000 emails a week. I don't answer all of them, but I answer some of them. This guy, his email was so short that I believed him. Subject was, I'm going to kill myself. And the thing is, I know you won't reply. I'm going to kill myself. I don't know what to do. That was the email. And I sat there and said, listen, my friend, I get a lot of emails. I don't know how serious you are. I want you to make me a promise. I'm going to guess that you're not in the best physical condition you could be in. I want you to make me a promise. You're going to get a six-pack first. And send me a picture of you with a six-pack. If you still feel like killing yourself after that, I don't know you. I can't tell you what. But I want you to get a six-pack first. Email me back. We start going back and forth. I convinced him to get the gym and say, get a six-pack, see how you feel. If you still feel like killing yourself, then I'm not telling you to kill yourself. I'm telling you that's what I would recommend. Start training. By the time he started sending me physique updates of him in a better condition, he started sending me huge emails of apology and thank you, saying you saved my life. I can't believe I was thinking of killing myself. You can't believe he changed. The world you now live in is so competitive that if you're not a competitive male, you're going to be perma-depressed. You don't have a mental disease. You're just in a competitive environment and you are losing. You need to become a competitive person. There's no easy way. It's going to be hard. It's going to suck. But if you get to top G, if you get there, it's a life worth living. I'm Tate, huge fan and the real world student. What mistake keeps poor men poor even when they work hard? I feel like I work hard every day, but I don't have results yet. What keeps you poor is working hard. Hard work. Lots of poor people work hard. When you carry water on your head across the fucking Mozambican desert, because if you don't go on a 9-mile trek each morning to some pump, which was installed by UNICEF, you're going to die of dehydration. That's hard work, but you're still fucking broke. So working hard in and of itself is not enough to escape the matrix. You have to identify opportunities and you have to go first and you have to be brave. You have to be brave enough to do the things that others haven't done yet. You can walk to the pump 9 kilometers away and get guaranteed water, or you can dig a hole and maybe get unlimited instead of 2 bottles. But there's a risk that you dig a hole for no reason. You have to take the risk. Nobody is gonna save you. Trump ain't gonna save you. I'm not gonna save you. Family's not gonna save you. Luck isn't gonna save you. Nothing is going to save you. You're in a barren sea. You're in the middle of the Pacific. There's no ships around. You can swim or you can drown. Now it's a long swim. It's true. But you better get started, because you can't just float there waiting for some miracle. We've talked about rain dancing and how if you act, if you take action, the universe seems to bend. The code of the simulation seems to change, and then you get lucky. If you begin to swim, perhaps you'll see a boat. But if you stay there, you won't. Why? Because God does not reward quitters, and He doesn't reward the slow. You know, as counterintuitive as this may sound, God does not reward the thinkers. He rewards the action takers. It's the bell curve. The people who instantly take action without thinking do pretty good. A lot of stupid people get very rich by instantly taking action without thinking. Then you have the very smart people who take action and then think about the action they took. They think post-action. I'm going to take an action because I have to be first. Now let me think about what I've done. I've done something. So now let me think about how to make the most of the action I have taken. The people in the middle who are thinking about action only lose because they are never first. Thinking is slow.
Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. Sometimes you can read a David Goggins book because I was all this shit and then a lot more of fucked up. But if you don't have a little flame, you know, just barely, you're done. I can't light it for you. And that's the harsh reality of this life that I want to get across so fucking bad. You can watch me, you can watch you can watch fucking Rogan, Cameron Hayes, all these motherfuckers. You can go to Tony Robinson's fucking bullshit, all this shit. You do all this shit. If You could keep going back and keep spending money and spending money and spending money with no results. You can wonder, wow, maybe let me go try out David Goggins. He ain't gonna fucking help you. You have to explore, examine the insides of yourself. And what do you really want in life? Your friend, a lot of people out here just don't fucking want it. But guess what? Have fun with your life.
Let's go to a party and then they'll play music and then we'll dance for hours, for fucking hours of your fucking life. Why? You don't need fun. You need purpose. You need a mission. You need something larger than yourself to live for. You're just some empty vessel with no soul and no spirit trying to attract dopamine from the asinine, put it into your blood, and just be a fucking inept idiot bouncing around on some substance or alcohol or drug or something, worshipping some music artist who wouldn't give a shit if you fell out of a plane and smashed into the fucking ground.
You have to envision something that is more powerful than you. Something has to get you out of bed. And you have to create it. It has to be false. Because you're not it. You're a bad piece of shit. And that's the reality of it. So you have to create a false reality to live in that, just to get to work on yourself. That's the reality.
Why must reality slap you in the face so brutally for you to wake up? You're the kind of dickhead who drives his car on the ice and slides all over the place and won't slow down. It's only when you hit a fucking tree and lose a leg do you sit there like a pirate, a dumb pirate with a wooden fucking leg. You sit there and go, I might slow down next time. You only learn lessons the hardest possible way. And here I am, respected as one of the greatest orators in the English language, trying my best to convince you to win. I'm not trying to convince you to commit suicide. I'm not trying to convince you to die. I'm not trying to convince you to lose. I'm trying to convince you to do something you should already want to fucking do, which is win. And I can't seem to get you to take action and move and work. This outcome was certain. You knew it. I knew it. And you still just laid in bed at night after an average day of meager efforts and slept like a fucking baby. You went to bed broke and slept like a fucking baby.
There's no dopamine in there at 300 pounds. You got nothing. Your hormones are shot. You have to envision something that is more powerful than you. Something has to get you out of bed. And you have to create it. It has to be false. Because you're not it. You're a bad piece of shit. And that's the reality of it.
You see, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. There's not a car or a person inside. The panel over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person inside. People want to know where I find my strength at. Where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places. But right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday. Hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the money, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay on.
If I knew I was going to wake up broke, I wouldn't go to sleep. I don't want to wake up broke, ever. So if I feel like closing my eyes and having a little bit of rest is going to lead to me waking up broke, I ain't closing my eyes. Money must be made. And this Bitcoin opportunity is actually
one of a long string of opportunities that you have squandered in your insignificant, unremarkable, meager existence. Nobody knows who the fuck you are. Nobody knows your name. The Matrix ain't trying to put you in jail. Women aren't begging for your children. You're a fucking nobody. And you're a nobody because every single time God gives you a chance, you ignore it.
People chase happiness because they think that that's what they need, when in reality, happiness is just a byproduct of becoming the best version of yourself. So instead of chasing the emotion, become the type of person that is experiencing that emotion.
You're never going to be a good man or good at being a man without pain and suffering. You're going to have to go through a bunch of shit and have a terrible life to become a good man. I think you should embrace that and accept it. And I think that the correct mental model for men to have is a degree of stoicism and not to be too concerned with even how they feel. If I woke up today happy, I would have done this interview with you. If I woke up today sad, I would have done this interview. What's the difference? Why put so much importance on my emotion if certain things must be done? I must work, I must train, I must see Tucker Carlson, I must resist the Matrix.
You've got duties.
I've got things to do. So why are we going to sit around and talk about how I feel if it doesn't even affect how I act? And as a man, it shouldn't, because there's too much to do. And the masculine world is hyper-competitive. This is another thing most people don't understand. It's hyper-competitive out here. All the women want a few men at the top. The Ferrari, you don't want a Ferrari to drive fast. You want a Ferrari because other men want a Ferrari and can't have one. It's hyper-competitive. So if you're competing against every other man for every dollar you make, every girl you see, the house you live in, the car you drive, the life you live, you're not going to be able to compete with the person who performs regardless of how they feel if you only compete when you feel like competing. They're trying to convince you that you should act how you feel. You should show more of your feelings. If you feel this way, you should show it. If you want to cry, cry. Look, I have no problem with guys crying. Sometimes guys cry, right? My dad died, I cried. I've cried once in 10 years, but it's not a default emotion for me. Sometimes you cry, right? But what I'm saying is the reason they're trying to bring out emotionality in me is because of exactly what Myron said. Most of the time, you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do. But the true masculine frame throughout history was doing the things they didn't want to do, but they knew they had to do because they had honor and duty. Do you think the men on the Titanic wanted to stay on the fucking Titanic? No! We're men. We have to stay. We're scared, but we must. It's our duty to let the women and children on the lifeboats. This is masculine duty. When you remove self-control from men, you get, not only do you get emasculated weak men, but what you also get is very dangerous men. Because the world at large is trying to tell you, just be more in touch with your feelings and everything's going to be fine. Men also have an innate desire, one, for conquest, and two, we have a biological response. We are very predispositioned to anger. You look at all these school shooters and shit. These are men who can't control their emotions. That's all they are.
Facts.
They have no self-control. And then they go and do dangerous shit. A good man controls himself. I have absolute self-control. If I decide to smash your face in, it was a very conscious decision. Nothing to do with the fact I was angry. If I decide to shoot you in the face, it's a conscious decision. It's the best move on the chessboard. There's no anger involved. You understand? Emotional control is absolutely and utterly important as a man. Now, I'm not saying become a stoic dork, have no personality, be a boring fuck. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to understand as a man, there are certain principles under which you act, regardless of how you feel. Bam. I can wake up in a terrible mood. I will complete the same tasks as if I woke up in a fantastic mood. I'll do the same things because how I feel has no bearing on the things I'm going to do with my day because I have duty to myself and to my bloodline.